Welcome back to Open Window Politics. Today we're going to be going through a Democratic best case scenario. So I did a video for the Republicans a little while ago, so today we'll be doing a best case possible scenario for the Democrats. We'll be going through each of these key states that have yet to be called. As you can see here right off the bat, the map looks a little bit different than it usually does. We have a couple states further in the Democratic Party's category. I could see a world where even it may get even better for the Democrats with the current states I've got out. But we'll be going through the ratings for the states that are now in the toss-up category. We will start with the likely red. So really, I think that the rest of these will end up being more narrow than likely red in a Democrat's best case scenario. The only electoral college vote I have in that section is the district there in Nebraska. This is the kind of out of Omaha, mid-Nebraska district that is fairly Republican, has certainly voted red for quite a few times in a row. So I don't think much will change. Even in a best case scenario, I don't think I would end up in the lean margin. So that is going to be one of the districts there in Nebraska. One more electoral college vote for the Republicans. We'll be going through the lean states now. So as far as the lean states go, we have, well, we'll start with the lean blue states. I think the best chance, well, actually, I do think there'll be one more in the likely column. I think Florida will probably most likely end up in the likely column. This state used to be a very competitive swing state, but has since drifted pretty far to the right. And I think it would take quite a bit. I think it's a possibility with Democrats' best case scenario for the state to end up in the lean margin. At the moment, I just don't see it as the most likely situation. So for now, we'll put Florida in the likely margin. Could potentially see it going to lean, but for now, we'll just stick with likely. And then we'll be going through the other. So now I'm going to get to the lean blue states. I think in a Democrat's best case scenario, the state of Nevada is going to end up in the lean blue as well as the Rust Belt. That will result in a victory for the Democrats right off the bat. Oh, whoops. And then as far as these other states go, so that is going to be the Rust Belt, which usually decides the presidency, and that brings the Democrat to 275. I do think the news will get better. For now, I will go to, I think there will also be one more electoral college vote in that lean blue margin, that being this district here in the Omaha region. This district, oh, whoops, I switched which one, but this district has voted for Democrats pretty consistently, even when blue for Harris in 2024. That was, as you know, a bad election year for Democrats. So I think this district would remain in the Democratic Party's column and end up being by a safer margin if it were a best case scenario for the Democrats. And then that leaves us with a couple other interesting states. We'll now get to the lean red states. So I think as far as lean red, the two, well, there would be two that I think would most likely end up in the Republican column in the lean red. Iowa and Ohio used to be regarded as swing states, kind of similar to Florida. And much like Florida, they have drifted to the right. Not quite as far to the right as Florida has. They are still somewhat competitive. They are definitely lean Republican, but I think in a Democrat's best case scenario, they could end up being in the lean instead of likely rating. So that is going to be some more electoral college votes for the generic Republican against the generic Democrat, 276 to 178. And then we're going to get to the tilt states now. I think that there could be a good shot. Here, we'll add a tilt rating. Start with the tilt blue. So for the tilt blue states, I'm going to go with the state of Alaska, or not Alaska, Arizona, putting that into the tilt blue column. Another state that I think I'm going to go back to the lean margin is going to be the state of Georgia. This state went blue in 2020, so it isn't out of the picture that it could vote blue again. And I think in a best case scenario for Democrats, it would end up in the lean margin. And then we're going to get to another tilt state, I think North Carolina. It is looking like a Democrat will be elected to the Senate seat here, to one of the Senate seats in North Carolina. And I think that could provide positive momentum. At the moment, if it were virtually every prediction I have on the presidential level has Republicans winning the state of North Carolina, but in a Democrat's best case scenario against a generic Republican, I think there's a shot it could end up in the tilt blue range. And then as far as Texas goes, I think that in the long run, this state will narrow up and become more Democratic friendly. But for now, I'm going to keep it in the Republican column, but by a tilt margin. So it is still very competitive. And that leaves us with 319 electoral college votes for the Democrat to 218 for the Republican. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks. Bye.